Yeah, hey everyone, excuse my general diseased sound. Yeah, it's Champions League time. We are 12th. And if we can get, I think, even just a draw today against Monaco, we are basically guaranteed to go through, which will be absolutely incredible for our first time back in the Champions League in some years. Now, after we lost to Ajax, we said we were targeting the Trabzonspor game as a way of getting 3 points on the board, which we did with a comfortable 3-0 win with Adi Besic getting a hat-trick. Before we then pulled off one hell of a shot, coming from behind at the San Siro to beat Milan 2-1. And things arguably got better when we welcomed Arsenal to Iceland and held on for a very respectable 0-0 draw. They had the better XG, but chance-wise, it was completely even. Possession, you'd expect it to be a little bit in their favour, but to get the 0-0 at home to Arsenal, I thought was great. And at this point, we were sitting on 7 points after 4 games. So I'd like to think you could forgive me for being optimistic when we welcomed young boys to Iceland and dominated them possession-wise, but they were absolutely clinical from set pieces, scoring 2 corners, and a couple of shockers from some of our players certainly didn't help. But we then got back on the horse, absolutely crushing Leipzig 4-0 in Germany, not even allowing them to get a shot on target. Meanwhile, the big news is that HK have gone professional after they went and finished a very respectable 11th in the Europa Conference League, seeing them through to the next round. Meanwhile, Braithwaite are struggling down in 27th with 1 win, 3 draws and 2 losses. The losses come to Rennes and Copenhagen. They have managed to get draws at home to Newcastle, away to Salzburg and away to Steaua Bucharest, with that 1 win coming in that 4-2 victory over Midtjylland. So I think from what I remember, their games, I think they potentially got, they got Bordeaux and Haifa. So realistically, they just need to get, I would say, one win out of those games, really, and they should hopefully be fine. Meanwhile, as we mentioned last time, we are struggling a little bit in the title race, but as we predicted, Braithwaite did slip up in the playoff round, the championship playoff, but not only did they slip up, they failed to win a single game. Meanwhile, we won all 5, and it was only that victory for us over HK on the last day of the season that actually stopped HK from getting second. Now, in the interest of keeping the last episode a little bit concise, I deliberately didn't mention the loan farm just because we were coming up to near the end of the sort of calendar league season, so we knew we were going to be losing a little bit. We're currently on 23 players out on loan, and I'm hopeful of getting some more out there. We managed to keep the ones at HK. You'll notice that Rodriguez Vasquez is now listed as being on loan at us, and that's because he has left the club but has stayed on loan for the rest of the season. We have been shafted a little bit with that for these Run the Champions League games, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. But the main things really, we're keeping these guys out at HK. Victor Andre Ormesson has actually come on really, really nicely. He was someone who looked technically great, but physically looked really, really poor. And he's actually managed to develop into a really well-rounded player so far. He's only 19. He's still got the scope to be a really good midfield option, I think, for us. If we can just work on some of those more all-round technical attributes, he could turn into a really good player. Same with Daniel Björnsson. Still got high hopes for him, but for now, he's just staying out on loan at HK, where he's doing really well. Miguel Benitez as someone who's gone from being a perfectionist, from being fickle 2 seasons ago. Whatever they're doing at HK with him has worked incredibly well. And then Miroslav Bednar is also doing really, really well out on loan at HK, smashing in goals left, right, and centre. Now, there have just been 3 out so far. We've got quite a few players joining us, but I'll go into them when they join so I can show you them properly once they arrive. So that'll be in the next episode. But Felix Piazza, who we literally signed last summer as a option in defence, when Auxerre came in and bid 3.7 mil for him, like a package deal, which saw us get 3.1 mil essentially guaranteed for him, and we'd only bought him for 2.1 mil like 6 months before. It made sense just to cash on him. He was okay, but he was never going to be anything brilliant, so we just made the decision just to make some easy profit. We have also finally decided to move Blaise Diarra on. He only had like 6 months left on his contract or something like that, so we ended up inviting some bids for him. We only made, unfortunately, 170k from Aston Villa for him, and he's obviously worth quite a lot more now. But we won't unfortunately be able to get any profit on that. But yeah, it made sense to sell him. Peter Breyer has really, really kicked on since he's joined, and we've got a couple of youngsters joining who can slot into that anchor role as well. And then lastly, Marcos Rodriguez Vasquez. So basically, we started rejecting bids early on in this window for less than $1 million from your Atletico Madrid, your Real Madrid, your Spurs, your Liverpool. And then we started getting some bids which we were happy with, and then accepting them. And then the Inter came in, we negotiated them up to a higher bid, rejected the existing one. Atletico came back in. Milan came back in. And in the end, Arsenal, having had a bid accepted, then rejected, then re-accepted again, signed him for 10.5 mil. I think it's like 7.5 mil in total with then some installment packages. We did actually reject bids of 10.5 mil outright from Man United and Newcastle. But the reason why we accepted the one for Arsenal because we got 30 to 35% straight profit on his next sale. I don't see Arsenal's being in his final destination, to be honest with you. I think someone like Madrid or Atleti will come back in for him in the future. So I wanted to make sure I had that percentage of profit for a bit of guaranteed money going forwards. And in the grand scheme of things, with the amount of revenue we only get from transfers, it would have only worked out about an extra like 500 to 1.5 million for me in the transfer budget versus the potential massive gains that we're going to get down the line. And you may be wondering why I said the sale of Rodriguez Vasquez has shafted us a little bit. Well, because we sold him and then he stayed on loan with us, he got deregistered from the Champions League squad, he got taken out. I didn't realise when I re-registered the squad, I didn't realise that he wasn't in there, so he's missing for these next couple of games, which is really annoying. So we're going to go with Castro and Suarez up front. Castro got his first goal for the club against Leipzig, so I'm hoping he can kick on with that. Lerva has really sort of kicked on into a good vein of form recently. There's arguments actually for Schmidt starting over Mbala because Schmidt has come in and been really, really good. Abinho is coming in at the box-to-box. We have got a player joining who we think might be able to do that role a little bit better. I just realised that Ngoy was a bit tired. And then Brea, like I said, has been really good since he's come in. Rakic isn't happy because we rejected some bids from him and he wants to go, but I can't afford to sell him just yet. I need to have a replacement lined up and I won't be able to get that sorted until February. And then we've got Carrasco, Svensson and Mashuka at the back. Sanabria and Mashuka are both recovering just from injury, but it's a toss-up really between the two. Sanabria is unhappy because he still wants to leave. We've rejected a bit from Marseille again and he's not happy about that. I'm hoping to try and get Nygaard out. Potentially because Braither have been sniffing around, so I think it'd be great if he can go there. And then otherwise, I think that's it for now. So, I mean, qualification is pretty much already secured, but it would be nice if we can get another win here and just sort of put ourselves in. I see United doing this. And put ourselves in with a really good chance of potentially sneaking into the top 8. I appreciate that that's going to be big. We're going to have to get 2 wins really from these last 2 games in order to make sure that happens. But who knows? Stranger things have happened. But I do just think we might be able to sneak a win here at Monaco, but I think Atletico Madrid, I think it's going to be a bit too much of an ask, really. But winning here would pretty much guarantee us the top half of that playoff, I think. Although there are some quite tough teams in the bottom half so far, which is probably who we would end up drawing if that were the case. I'm talking about people like Man City, Inter, Milan, Napoli, potentially Liverpool. So yeah, a lot to play for. But yeah, seriously, who gets COVID anymore? It's 2024. Who gets it now? Come on. And then we'll see obviously what happens with Braither in their game tomorrow against Bordeaux. Really, we just need them to win one of their last 2 games, which hopefully will be doable. Because then we'd have 3 teams going through. We're pretty much guaranteed to get 2. Like, it's very unlikely that we won't go through. We'd be incredibly unlucky to get 10 points and not go through to the next round of the Champions League. But it would just be nice if Braither could get there as well. Yeah, we are improving our defence, and we've got some like young midfielders joining as well, players that we can hopefully just bring through to be the future of the sort of, especially if we're going to keep running this system for a bit, it'll be good to have some young backup for the BBM role and the anchor role, just so we can basically start blooding them through, generate a bit of value hopefully, and go from there. Oh, also the other thing as well, we managed to get Iceland to the World Cup. We came second behind Portugal. then we got 17 points or something, and they got like 19 or 20 or something. So we're very happy with that. Climbing up the rankings. Just out of interest, if we stay like this and we end up finishing this match week with 11 points, that will be enough for us. That will be enough because Westerlo won't be able to capture us. Never like these free kicks. That worked out okay. I usually find that you get pressed too hard and you end up losing the ball and everyone's out of shape. Oh, lovely. Come on, Swaj. Oh, it's tipped onto the post, onto the bar, sorry. How unlucky. Oh, man. Didn't realise we've been comfortable in possession here in this game as well. Almost 60%. That's just what we like. We can hopefully just keep creating chances like we just did then with that Suarez chance. That was a nice little move from them. That's a good goal, to be fair. Keeper should do better, to be honest with you, but it was a nice little passing move. But yeah, from that distance, the keeper should be doing better with that. Oh, he hits the bar again. Damn it, Svensson. Honestly. Yes, well in Lerva. That's really well won, and that's a terrible pass from Robinho. He's struggling a little bit, so I may well have to take him off soon anyway, but that's really poor after Lerva won it back so well. They're passing it around so nicely. That was always going to be the option then. I thought it might have been offside, but no. Unlucky Schmidt. Just watching that then, we had a Binho sort of up here, which to be fair, with him being a box to box, I would hope he would have been sort of making himself available in the middle here. Just watching that play out, and we had all four of them there, and Binho didn't really seem to be offering himself as like a supporting option. Maybe a CM on support or something might be the way to go there. With that in mind, we're going to bring on Mbala, maybe try playing him. Or maybe as a deep line playmaker. Let's see. Maybe put Schmidt on support as well. And just see if we can get a bit more midfield options to receive the pass to turn. Yeah, I just wasn't happy watching that play out then with the sort of the lack of options available to the defenders to feed into the midfield. Oh, lovely. Lovely. Oh, you've got to score that, mate. You've got to score. That was really, really nice. But you've really got to score that. We created some lovely chances in this game. Can't believe we've not scored at least one of them. Maybe we go for Ronaldo for his creativity. He's not the finished article yet, but I just wonder if we go for him over someone like Ritter for Lerva, because Lerva's struggling a little bit. Just Ronaldo just technically is good, and I just wonder if he can potentially pick out those little options for us. Because really, we've really limited Monaco to chances. We've been the better team, to be honest with you. Just struggle to sort of get the ball in that net when the chances have come. Maybe we'll give... No. Oh, I don't know who to go for. Michael's not really played. Maybe we'll go for this guy, Cardinale. Youngster. Not played before. Chance to make a name for himself, maybe. I've got a horrible feeling I've just made 4 subs off three breaks. Lovely. Cardinale. Terrible pass. Terrible pass. But we're getting in still. And I tell you what, having made those changes on the 2 midfielders has definitely opened things up for us a little bit in there. Lovely pass. Square it. Cardinale's not wise to it yet. Umbala. Breyer. Out to Sanabria. Into Umbala. Oh, Suarez tipped over, honestly. Oh, he was offside. Great. You're just going to have to soldier on, pal. Come on, Umbala, you've got to get that first. You've got to get to that first. That's really shocking. Great save. I honestly thought that was going to be a goal. I'm going to have to tell Sanabria just to sit because he just can't run. Nice, Carrasco. I thought I'd used all stoppages. I think I've actually made all subs anyway, actually. So never mind. Tell you what, Monaco have definitely been there today. We could have had these. We still might, but I'm not very optimistic. Can't see us getting this here. Cannot see it at all. Sickener. Absolute sickener. Like I said, I don't really think it matters too much because I don't think it's possible for us to not qualify now. But that was a definite opportunity missed. Meanwhile, Braithwaite lost to Bordeaux, which means that they've got to get a result against Maccabi Haifa to have any chance of going through, really. Anyway, everyone, if it's okay, I'm going to leave you there. I know we've not quite got qualification boxed off yet, but we're as good as there, and I am flagging big time. So I will see you all very soon. I'll see you for the next game, which will be in the Champions League knockout playoff round. I'm going to manifest it. We're going to happen. It's not going to get stolen away from us. Whether Braithwaite will be there in the Europa League is a different matter, but if we get us and HK through, I think we can call that a win. And as it stands, we are on course for a better season than we had last season already, and we've definitely got at least 5 more opportunities to pick up points. So yeah, bode really, really well. We're potentially going to go up to 10th if that comes through, which would be absolutely phenomenal. So I will see you all very soon. We'll have some transfers to touch on and all sorts of wonderful, wonderful things. Take care, thank you, and bye for now.